I'm going to need your full attention for about 5 minutes while I break down for you exactly how a dealer looks at your trade and decides what it's worth. So there's three types of trade-ins that are typically seen by a dealership. The first type of trade-in is a car that they'll actually sell at their dealership, something that is only a couple or 3 years old, that who knows, they might even certify it if it's the same brand as the dealership that you're at, or it's a competitive make, but it's still a very recent model. The second is a car that they'll send to auction, that typically another smaller sort of mom and pop type dealership will go to the auction to buy. These cars are typically older than about 5 or 6 years old and generally fall into a different category of valuation. The third type of trade-in is a trade-in that has pretty much no value, something that you would probably sell on Craigslist, or something that it's no value to a dealer but might be worth a lot more to somebody else that finds like some sort of sentimental value to it. So regardless of which category of car that your car falls into, in all three scenarios, the dealer is going to use two different methods for figuring out the value for your car. Before I dive right into this video, guys, I want to introduce myself. My name is Ari Janessian, and I run a car buying service called Boston Automotive Consulting. We're based out of Boston, and we help new car buyers to get the best possible deal on brand new cars. And this is a conversation that I have with a lot of my clients as to how a dealer decides what your car is worth. The dealer's not stupid, guys. He's going to use the same resources that you're using to try to figure out what your car is worth. And he's going to combine that with his resources to tell him what your car is worth. So when you go into a dealership, typically you'll already have in mind what KBB and CARGURUS is saying that your car is worth. However, depending on which category that your car falls into, it's quite likely that the dealer is going to look at it in a different light. If your car is the type of car that the dealership is going to retail and put on their lot, you want to factor that the dealer is going to want to make about 20% profit between what he buys the car for and what he sells the car for. So if KBB and CARGURUS is telling you that a good retail price for your car is about $20,000, factor that the dealership's offer to you may be 20% less than this before anything else is actually needed on the car, like tires. Maybe it needs like a major tune-up or whatever else the car actually needs. This also gets added on top of the 20% that he's looking for in profit. So if your car needs brand new tires and the retail value of your car is about $20,000, then he's going to want to offer you in the ballpark of about $15,000. If your car is the type of car that's going to go to auction and not get sold on his lot, he's going to go and check out what auction values your car that you're trying to trade in has generated at the auction block. Like actually see what this car has been selling for at the auction. On top of that, what he's going to do is he's going to tack on any transportation costs, and you guessed it, he's going to want to make 20%. If the trade-in value of your car is, say, $20,000, and your car is the type of car that's going to get sent to auction, you got to factor that he's going to want to make 20%, and he's going to want to deduct the transportation costs, like sending it to auction on a flatbed or carrier, and he's going to want to deduct that from his offer. So if he's offering you $14,000, and then the dealer is going to want to give him a little bit of padding in his offer just in case your car doesn't actually sell for whatever the records have been showing him that a comparable car like yours is selling for. So he may even deduct another $1,000 from there. It's likely that if the trade-in value of your car is about $20,000, factor that the dealership is going to want to give you about $14,000 to $15,000. Now, say your car is the type of car that doesn't really have all that much value on KBB or CARGURUS, as in you're getting about $2,000 in trade-in value, and the dealership can hardly make only $500 of profit. There's a chance that the dealership may not even offer you anything and act as if they're giving you that $1,000 or $1,500, all while protecting about $1,000 or $1,500 from the bottom line of the car that you're actually going to buy. So say the new car that you were trying to buy, you were trying to get a discount of, say, $10,000. The dealership is going to protect that last $1,500 so that the maximum discount you get on the new car is only between $8,500 and $9,000. Guys, you've got to realize that the dealership has the same tools that you have and more. When you're checking out KBB and you're checking out CarGurus.com, you've always got to take into account that these dealerships will always try to make 20% of profit, all while selling the car for whatever the market is saying that that car is worth. So if your trade-in value on KBB.com or CarGurus.com is telling you that your car is worth $20,000 and the car is selling for about $25,000 retail, chances are that the dealership will actually give you $20,000. If the same car that you've got can be had for about $22,500, the dealership is going to want to buy your car for 20% less than that. As in, at that point, it doesn't matter if your trade-in value is 20. If it's selling on the market for $22,500, he's going to take your car for 20% less than that, translating into a trade-in value much less than $20,000, especially if your car needs some work to be retail ready. If the car is going to get sent to auction, you've got to realize that usually the difference between what your trade-in value is and what the dealership wants to offer you is a padding that the dealership is giving itself in between, because the auction values haven't been giving them the comfort to allow you that value that you think that your car is worth. Also because they still want to make 20%. Guys, I hope that this video gave you some clarity as to how a dealership thinks and evaluates your car. There's always profit to be made on every single aspect of a deal. If I could recommend to you one thing, if it's possible to sell a car on your own, I would highly encourage you to do so. If you've still got an outstanding loan on your car, the best way to go about getting rid of it or trying to sell it is to try and sell it to the dealership that's gonna put it on their lot. As in, don't try and trade in a 5-year-old Honda to a BMW store. Try and actually sell it to a dealership that's going to put it on their lot. As in, try and sell it to a mom and pop type dealership, or maybe sell it to a CarMax that'll offer you more money for your car, because chances are that dealership may not need to move your car off of their lot in order to profit off it. They can just keep it there and sell it. Guys, if you found this information useful, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. This channel is all about giving car buyers negotiation tips and advice for pursuing the best possible deals on their cars. And all the information here is free, so please consider it. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.